explaining the 3 pillars of flow state manifesting. And just before I'm going live, my cute little Yorkie is barking over there, so I hope it's not too loud. But I'm very excited. Georgia, Georgia, come, come, come. Hopefully she listens to me. I'm very excited to do these lives because I, as a Woopreneur myself, it took me quite a long time to discover what did it mean for me to be in my best self, my highest self, my most giving, loving, caring self in my business to really be able to nurture and help others just as much I needed to nurture and help myself. And it took me a long time. And those of you that are woopreneurs or have been doing some self-improvement work, you know that it takes quite a while. And so I'm very passionate about creating content in my Woopreneur Collective channel that really supports people that are just like me. And I'm going to pull up my little notes things here that I had for you so that I can talk about this, talk about all the specific things that I want to get into today. And I'm hoping that if you're here joining me, I was a bit late getting on by 10 a.m. this morning PST. So if you are just learning about this, or this is your first time even hearing about my channel, I want to just take a moment to just introduce myself real quickly here. First of all, my name is Princella Stringer, and I am a life coach, but I help people, I help entrepreneurs. Woopreneurs is what I like to refer to my clients, because woopreneurs are people that care about the spiritual connection, alignment. They care about authenticity, and they care deeply about helping others. The thing about that, though, is that being an emotional person and caring deeply about helping others means that you yourself need a little emotional support. And so, honestly, as opposed to highly masculine driven entrepreneurs, which works really, really well for some people. But if you're not someone that naturally goes into masculine energy and uses that masculine energy, amplifies it when you really need it most, such as starting a business, if that's not your natural mode of being, then you're not going to pull it out when you really need it. And that's what I really needed for myself. I needed to figure out, where's my balance, because I'm mostly in my feminine. And by that, I knew for a long time I needed to work on myself. And I knew I had to go through the course of working on my things, right? And obviously, as you know, it is always a work in progress. So one thing I want to talk about today is that I've been doing some shorts that are getting some attention. The shorts are micro pieces of the flow state manifesting training that I do. And by that, I mean, I wanted those shorts to completely focus on the deep, deep core things that are stopping us from achieving the goals that we want to achieve. The thing about these core deep rooted things is that we're not consciously aware of them. We're not thinking about them. They just pop up in the moment where had you healed that piece of you, you wouldn't have an issue or a concern in stepping into who you needed to be for that moment. So the chat that is getting the most attention right now is one called "Your Emotions Are the Way to Your Goals." Your emotions are the way to your goals. And I love so much that this is getting the most attention, because that is exactly why I wanted to create the Woopreneur Collective. It is exactly what was holding me back from achieving my goals years ago. I mean, I was working on this for 10, 12 years. It's gray because, I started off with, I'm going to be a life coach. And I thought if I went and did my training that I was going to be ready to help people. Well, no, that's where I kind of got slapped down with, you need to work on you first. So in the meantime, though, I was able to help people through the work that I did in a local nonprofit in Benton Harbor, Michigan, which I absolutely loved working for this nonprofit there, Mosaic. So if you are ever in the Southwest Michigan area, you've got to stop at Mosaic. Let them know that I sent you. Um, but but that is where I got most of my coaching start from, was helping individuals in the community that wanted more out of life and needed someone to help them see the belief that someone else can have in them, and more importantly, the belief that they can have in themselves to carry that through. So I do want to talk about your emotions are the way to your goals. And with that, so the goal today is to help you realize that emotions are your guidance. Emotions are your guidance, not your obstacle. Now, if you're a highly emotional person, or if you're watching this and you know a highly emotional person, you're like, no, emotions get in the way. Emotions like overpower, they take over. I used to believe that I had absolutely no control over my emotional side. I'm going to be just very real with you. There were times when my emotions took over so deeply and so strongly that I didn't even know who I was in that moment. And I really felt like they took me over and I had no control over my actions, my words, my temperature. Whew, I'd get heated. And it served no one in that moment. However, when I learned the triggers that take me there, when I learned the micro triggers that were within my body that I needed to pay attention to and support, that's when things started changing and my emotions became my superpower. And you can absolutely do that too. So, all right. So, first of all, I want to, if you're watching this, I don't have anybody on with me live right now, but I just know that people are going to come and watch the replay of this. So if you are watching the replay right now, thank you so much for coming. Thank you for joining me on my very first live in this format. And I'm just curious. Have you ever felt like your emotions, we just talked about in life, but have your emotions gotten in the way of your goals? They get in the way of your goals. Maybe they interfere with your decision making, they interfere with your connections, they interfere with the balance, your energy balance, when you believe you can get something done, but then the next thing you know, you are just zonked from the energy suck that you've experienced that day or the day before. Um, so, what we want to do is we want to turn the belief that your emotions can be your superpower. We want to turn that around, turn that upside down, completely switch your belief around what your emotions mean about you and what your emotions mean about your ability to achieve your goals. So, as I said earlier, I'm Princella Stringer. I haven't pegged what I call myself, right? Because I strongly believe that when you are meant to be an entrepreneur, it is your life, right? So I also feel like the concepts that we tap into and the way that we behave in life spills into business and life. And not only do they support you in business when you find that alignment, but it absolutely supports you in life and in relationships in life as well. So if you are here um, now in the replay, I would love for you to share, where are you coming in from? If you don't know me, my husband and I are full-time RVers. About 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago now, we sold our home and everything just aligned beautifully in that moment. And I can't say 100% that before that decision in our life that things aligned very well. I mean, they did, right? They did, but it was unbeknownst to me. But this change of life that we made, it was very clear that things were coming into alignment very easily. Um, a f- Within that year, my son got one of our sons got a real estate license, so he was able to sell our home. One of our daughters was adamant that she was going to move out, and me being the mom obviously is like, that's going to be that's going to be challenging, and that's going to be quite the feat if she can move out on her own. And the pot was already stirring with becoming full-time RVers, and she did it. She was able to move into um, her own place, or she lives with friends, of course, but or honestly, I didn't know the power of her manifestation in her own life to be able to do that. That fell into place beautifully in perfect timing. And our three other kids were adulting, doing their beautiful thing in their lives. And so everything worked out beautifully. Plus, we have amazing friends that it aligned perfectly for their goals as well. So it was a beautiful manifestation that I would say that that is when my personal connection to what it means to manifest and things coming in order at right timing, truly, truly, so clearly, that was my very first experience with that. And I have to say that since we made the decision to live our life on our terms and to, I should say, follow that inclination to live our life on our terms, so much. I get emotional thinking about it. So much has fallen into line. And I think it makes me emotional because we spent so many years not paying attention to those little inklings on what we wanted out of life. And there are many of you out there that are in that same boat. You're stuck in something that feels heavy and feels like you can't make a different decision, even though your desire is so strong to make a different decision. And I'm here to tell you that it is all possible. And we've been through lots of things together as a family, me individually, my husband individually, and you can get to the other side of the struggle of feeling like you're not going to be able to achieve your goals. You absolutely can. So, going back to the emotions and that short that is getting a lot of attention right now, I really want to share with you a little more about that. So, I've got a little brief teaching here that I'm going to share. And what I want to start off with is by telling you is that like, as I said earlier, I absolutely felt like my emotions were a distraction. I felt like it pulled away from people taking me seriously, from me taking myself seriously, for people to understand what I was trying to share because my emotions would overpower. I'd get red, my face is a little flushed right now because I was late going on the live, but my emotions would get in the way and just come through and show through my body, and that really was a distraction, but mainly because I was not okay with my emotions yet. I did not understand my emotions, so it became a distraction, but that can change. All right, so at that time, I totally felt it was something to manage, something to hide. I was embarrassed by it. I was mortified. I remember one time I was at a meeting at the church we used to attend at that time, and pastor had put me on the spot in a meeting to talk about Mosaic and the work that we were doing there. And I froze. I got flustered. I started crying. I tried to speak and it just I couldn't speak. I couldn't. So he took over the conversation and talked about it, right? But then afterwards he came to me and he said, "Princella, what happened?" And I couldn't even answer him then either. But I learned from that. I carry that through as a story that is so important on a lack of understanding of ourselves and how that impacts the goals that we want to achieve. Because I was doing good work at Mosaic and I was so proud of it. I'm still so proud of it, but I couldn't speak to it. I couldn't put myself on a pedestal, so to speak, to speak to it. And I don't mean to say it in that way because it wasn't about putting myself on a pedestal, but in that moment, I was insecure. I was shy to speak in front of people. I didn't have confidence in myself. So I felt like that was putting myself on a pedestal, right? If that makes sense, I'm sure that you can relate to that. But when I stopped resisting my emotions, that was when I found clarity. When you stop resisting your emotions, you find clarity. Is it instantaneous that you get this clarity? No, it comes over time. It comes over noticing an emotion in your body when something happens, pausing, accepting it. Then later down the road, when you're ready, you may start to communicate with that feeling in your body and say, What's going on here? What do I need to learn about this that's showing up?" So we'll get there. Um, but yes, when I stopped resisting, I found clarity. And truth be told, this is when opportunities started showing up in different ways that I never would have imagined. Excuse me. So prior to that, opportunities that I wanted were kind of forced. I would go in and passionately claim my stake on something that I wanted to participate in. I would um, I would share with people out of turn. I would talk over people. And I didn't mean to do this. This was like an emotional response. So even though I was shy and had a hard time speaking up, those were emotional responses that were causing me to talk over people, to share in bad timing. One time I walked up into a very private conversation and I just blurted something out. It's just that's what we do when we don't manage our emotions, when we don't notice them, when we don't give them the attention that they deserve. So, if you have not seen that short, I will put that in the links below to share with you so that you can see that. That short is called Your Emotions Are the Way to Your Goals. Um, Let me know if you've seen it. If you've seen it, put a note in here. If you watch this on the replay and pause to watch it, come back in. Let me know if you watched it. Let me know if you resonate with it. And let me know if that was a part of your past or it's your current mode of being and it's something that you want to continue to work on. So, who here has ever felt like your emotions made you too much? Um, did you get some like side eye views at people when your emotions were too much? Did you feel like they were too much? Maybe nobody said anything, but everything was firing up in your body and you can feel it. So you stepped back and you didn't say anything because you could feel it burning in your body. Who here has felt that? If that has been you, I want you to drop a heart. Pick a color. What does that color mean to you? Drop a heart in here and let me know if your emotions have ever made you feel like you were too much. All right. So the other thing I want to share is that a big part of my teachings are the balance of masculine and feminine energy. I talked about that a little bit in the beginning. And that is where human design really supported me in understanding the balance of masculine and feminine energy. I started seeing how much masculine energy people were using to achieve the goals that they were achieving. And I thought, I want this. I want to be an entrepreneur, but I cannot do that. I cannot do what they are doing to achieve those goals. But I want it. I want a business. I want a business. And so I kept trying to morph myself into someone that can take action with my masculine energy. And then I would do it a couple of times and then I would be spent. spent for the rest of the day, spent the next day, and couldn't do anything else. So it was really an energy drain, an energy suck that did not stick for me. So when I learned that there is such a thing as balancing masculine and feminine energy, more importantly, that I learned that I have a choice in that. I can create the balance of my masculine and feminine energy. It felt like this amazing light bulb moment. And I just had to start writing down what happened in my life and what I did, how I was before, how I discovered that this balance does exist, and how can I achieve it. I started writing down things that mattered. And with that, I wrote the book, The Unified Way, Balancing Masculine and Feminine Powers as an Entrepreneur. And that book, you can find that on Amazon. I'll put the link in the comments below as well, or in the description. But what my book teaches is that when you align your actions with what feels alive, align your actions with what feels alive in your body instead of what feels forced, right? Like I was forcing masculine tasks, mustering up masculine energy, putting on high vibe music, or high energy music, I should say, to get myself amped up, have my special coffee, all of these things to create and ignite energy within my body. That was all forced. So when we do that, as I've been saying, it just doesn't work. You create results, or excuse me, when you balance what feels alive, you create results that are faster with less burnout, because you don't go through that up and down cycle of like forcing, and then you do something and then you burn out. That is what helps your results come faster, faster, faster. So tell me in the chat, are you a push energy type of person, or are you someone that has done a heck of a lot of work to get yourself to the place of flow energy? How have you been working through that lately? Are you still forcing, believing that you must force, or have you gotten to the place where you can flow your energy toward what's burning up within you and to achieve the goals that you want to achieve? All right, so I do want to do, before we close out this live session, I want to do a quick embodied practice. So for those of you that have meditated in the past, maybe you're a trainer in meditation, maybe you're practicing it and you have been able to do it for yourself. I want to walk through a little practice with you, no matter where you are in your journey. And let's just do this quick awareness practice together. So close your eyes if you can. If not, just kind of get yourself, if you want to leave your eyes open, just get yourself in a Zen state. What does that mean? Maybe you're sitting and there's something in front of you. Just kind of stare at that particular item and just kind of allow your eyes to go down to a gentle glaze, and just notice it and be curious about it, and just watch it, and take a slow breath through your nose. We're going to go in the nose, and then when you come to the top, you're going to hold that and then exhale through the mouth. Right now, we're just going to do it at your own pace. Inhale in through the nose, hold it for a couple seconds, and then out of your mouth. Exhale through your mouth. Just keep doing that, maybe 4 or 5 times. Do that 4 or 5 times. Usually for me, it works in 2 or 3 breaths. I'm calming my body. And you can start feeling it in your chest. Your chest gets a little lighter. Your shoulders droop down just a little bit more. And just find that relaxed feeling throughout your body. Now, I want you to think about one goal. One goal. If you're anything like me, you have a ton of goals, but one goal where you feel frustrated. You've been wanting to achieve this goal and you just feel frustrated. It's making you feel heavy. Talking about it, my tension starts building up in my shoulders here. So, what's that one thing that as soon as you think about it, you want it so bad? But as soon as you think about it, as soon as you start taking action, you get frustrated, you start holding stress in your body. Notice where you feel it in your body. I mentioned it happens up in my shoulders. Where else? I start getting tight in my upper stomach too, my upper abdomen, my lower back. All of that gets impacted by this heaviness and this frustration. Just notice, where do you feel it in your body? And then ask yourself, what emotion is actually there? What emotion are you carrying in that part of your body that you notice it? Is it fear, frustration, or is it excitement? Is it hope? We associate tension and heaviness with negative feelings. But our nervous system immediately does its work. When we feel something that actually, if we felt aligned, it would feel like hope and excitement, but because our brain wants to convince us that we're not ready for that, right away it shuts it down, it makes it tense and heavy. So don't dismiss that somewhere in your path, this emotion can create hope and excitement. Whatever it is, that is your internal GPS. Okay. So if you did that exercise with me right now and you felt something, you now know how it carries in your body. You now know what it is and it now becomes your internal compass. That is the thing that we want to focus on and we want to love on and understand. Okay. All right. That's beautiful. It's beautiful to acknowledge it and just notice it. So right now, in acknowledging that, just pop one word in the chat that describes what it is. What emotion came up for you? If you're not sure of the emotion, describe the feeling. So obviously that's going to be more than one word, but if you can't just think of a one word emotion, describe the feeling, describe where it is in your body. Sometimes after we're typing it out or verbalizing it, the answer starts coming to us. So continue to ask yourself that question. If you haven't nailed it right now, what the emotion is, after this call, go ahead and calm your body down after this video and ask yourself again, what emotion is that came up? So when emotions rise, it's energy that is asking for motion. It's asking you to do something. That's why it's so strong and loud. Even if we don't understand it just yet, it just wants to be noticed and it's asking you to do something with it. So instead of labeling it bad, use it as a compass, as a guidance, right? So for example, just today when I was feeling anxiety over doing this video, especially because I was running a little bit late, I had to pause and just ask myself, okay, what is this you're feeling? There's nothing bad going on here. It's natural. You're running late, but it's okay. It's okay. And that's what helped me to be able to get online, to just get it going and get it started. 9 times out of 10, that is growth. 9 times out of 10, it is growth. So so what you do is you breathe into it. That simple exercise of breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. You're breathing in positivity and letting go of tension and releasing fear. That, in a nutshell, is actually flow state manifesting. And it took me years to be able to get to that place of doing that action of breathing in and releasing and having it actually impact my body to calm my muscles and calm my energy down. So from here on out, if you're going to be catching me on these lives or watching my YouTube channel, my goal here is to teach you that we don't chase goals anymore. We don't chase goals anymore. And if you're familiar with human design, it doesn't matter if you're a manifester or a manifesting generator like I am, or a projector or anything else. It doesn't matter. We don't chase goals. We don't chase goals. We align with them. Okay. If that landed for you, type flow in the chat. I'd love to know if that landed for you. Type flow in the chat. So if you're ready to stop chasing and start aligning, this is what I'm here for. And I've got 2 ways to go deeper. One is through my flow state manifesting training, which you can sign up for at princellastringer.com. And then just click the tab there that says flow state manifesting and sign up for that. And you can get a free video on flow state manifesting. And second, if you are craving a community of like-minded people that are intuitive, purpose-driven entrepreneurs, come to the Woopreneur Collective. I have a beta that is going to be starting, and right now it's just $20 a month. I'm very excited to offer that at that very low price because, as I said, this is a technique that I developed from my own experience. And so I want to do a beta so I see who else can benefit from this. I know my clients have, but who else out there can benefit from that? So I'm only charging $20 a month to be a part of this beta, and we can build it together along with achieving our goals together as well. So I'll drop the link after this live into the comments or the description. But which one feels like a more aligned step to you? A collective or getting the free training? The free training will come to you, that comes to you. They're the 3 pillars that that are a part of the flow state manifesting technique. And I go into detail about those 3 pillars. So if you're someone that likes to, say you're an investigator profile in human design, or you just naturally want to research a little bit more, go ahead and sign up for that training and get that free training, learn a little bit more about it. And if it speaks to you, if it's something that you want to connect with me on, consider joining the Woopreneur Collective beta. All right, so drop a comment in the chat and let me know. Are you interested in the free training or the community? So type training or community, let me know. I would love to know how many people are interested in that. So before we wrap up, the final thing I just want to share with you, really important. Emotions aren't obstacles. Emotions aren't obstacles. They are invitations. It might be hard to really understand that concept right now in the moment, especially if you're going through a lot of obstacles right now. It's hard to look at it as an invitation. You may be saying, an invitation for what? So I'm just asking you to keep an open mind, come to the lives here, and you will start to understand more and more what that actually means. But these are invitations. Emotions are not obstacles. When you honor what you feel, you access flow. When you honor what you feel, you access flow. When you access flow, you magnetize opportunity. All right, so stay centered, keep discovering your gifts. This is where we find that aligned purpose is by discovering your gifts. So, and remember that every step brings you to healing and curiosity. Thank you so much for joining me. And I look forward to seeing you next Friday and on the live at 12 p.m. PST or next Sunday at 10 a.m. PST. Thank you so much. Let's see, how do I stop this? Oh, you know what? I'm going to put a question in here. So the question is, let's do this. Training or community? Let me know. I can't wait to hear your answers. All right. Bye-bye.